Hello guys, and welcome again to Afristylz Yarns. My name is Neema, and today we'll be making this beautiful 40 centimeter diameter placemat. It is really lacy and really detailed. For this project we'll be using this light purple thread, baby purple. It's very light, almost like a lilac. So this is what we'll be using with a size 3.5 crochet hook. You need your pair of scissors and your darning needle. We'll start off our pattern by making a magic ring. So you'll hold the tail end of your thread with your left hand, wrap it around your two fingers, take your needle, go into the circle and pull up a thread. Then we will chain two. This chain two will act as our first double crochet for row 1. And in row 1, what we want to do is have a total of 15 double crochets in the magic ring. So this is 1, so we'll work 14 double crochets. So we'll yarn over, go into the circle, pull up a thread, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the circle, pull up a thread, pull through 2 and pull through 2, yarn over, go into the circle, pull up a thread, pull through 2 and pull through 2, yarn over, go into the circle, pull up a thread, pull through 2, pull through 2. This is a total of 5, so we'll put 10 more double crochet into the magic ring, and I'll meet you at the end. I've worked my 15 double crochets into a magic ring. Then I'll give my circle a nice pull to close it up nice and tight. And then how I'll finish it off is this 2, our first chain 2, which acts as our double crochet, the third V, so not the first one, the second one, but the third one. Will go into the third space, pull up a loop and make a slip stitch to close off our circle. Then how we're going to start round 2 is we're going to chain 3. This will act as our first double crochet. Then what we want to do is chain 2, so we have a total of 5. So the first 3 will be our first double crochet, and the 2 will act at our chain space. And then into the next space we're going to work a double crochet, chain 2, and in the next space we're going to work another double crochet, chain 2, in the next space we're going to work our double crochet, and it is a repeat all the way to the end. At the end of row 2 you'll have 15 double crochets with spaces, 2 chain spaces in between each double crochet. I've done my 14 double crochets, so I'll chain 2, and into this last space I'll just go in with my last double crochet, and then I'll chain 2, and then at the third, this first chain that we did from the bottom, we will count 3, 1, 2, 3, and on this third one we're going to slip stitch. So we'll go into that third space, pull up a thread and pull through 2 to complete off row 2. Then we're going to chain 3. This chain 3 will act as our first double crochet for row 3. Then we're going to work 2 double crochets in each space. So yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. That's our second. First and second, 2 double crochets, so this is a total of 3 double crochets. Then at the top of this previous double crochet, right here at the top, we're going to work a double crochet in that space. And then we'll work 2 double crochets into the chain space, and at the top of the previous double crochet we're going to work a double crochet. So in total we'll be having 3, 3, 3 as we move. So 2 into the space and 1 at the top of the double crochet, 2 double crochets in the space and 1 double crochet at the top of the previous double crochet. So we'll continue like that all the way around to the end of row 3. I've worked my last 2 double crochet into my final space, and this is my last double crochet, and at the end of row 3 you want to make sure you have a total of 45 double crochets. And then what I'll do is at the third, our first chain that acts as a double crochet, I'll count 1 2 3, and in that third space what I'll do is I'll just go into that space, pull up a thread and slip stitch. So I'll just pull through to close off row 3, and in row 4 what we're going to do is chain 3, then chain 2 more, so a total of 5 chains. So the first 3 will act as our first double crochet plus 2 chain space. Then what we want to do is skip this first space and then work a double crochet into the next. So we've chained 3, this first space we're going to skip, and then we're going to work in this next space. So yarn over, go into that space and work a double crochet, chain 2, and work another double crochet into the, skip this space and into the next space. And row 4 will be a repeat of the same. So continue with the same all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of row 4 to close off. I'm almost completing row 4, so I'll chain 2 and then skip this space, and in this last space I'll work my last double crochet over there. Then I'll chain 2, and then in our first double crochet, which was a chain 3, I'll count 1 2 3, and in this third space I'll go in, pull up a thread and slip stitch to close off round 4. And at the end of round 4 you'll want to make sure you have a total of 23 double crochets with 2 chain spaces in between them. So with that I will chain 3 to begin row 5. Then in this space I will work 2 double crochets, 1 2, and at the top of this double crochet I'll work another double crochet over there. Then I'll work 2 double crochet in the chain space, and at the top of this double crochet I'll work another double crochet inside there. Then I'll work 2 double crochets in the chain space. Then in that top double crochet, and in that space I will double crochet. And row 5 is a repeat of the same all the way around, so continue with the same pattern, and I'll meet you at the end to close off. I'm at the end of row 5, so I'll make my last 2 double crochets in our last chain space. Then in our first double crochet I'll count 1 2 3, and in our first space I'll go in that space and work a slip stitch to close off round 5. At the end of row 5 what you want to do is make sure you have a total of 69 double crochets. We'll begin off round row 6 by making 3 chains. This will act as our first double crochet. Then we'll chain 2 for our space. Then we will skip this first space over here and work our double crochet in this next space. Chain 2, skip 1 space, and in the next work your double crochet, chain 2, skip a space, and in the next space work another double crochet, chain 2, skip a space, and in the next space work another double crochet. And row 6 will be a repeat of the same pattern all the way around, so you can continue like that, and I'll meet you at the end of row 6 to finish off. I'm at the end of row 6, and I'll work my 2 chain spaces and work my last double crochet. So I'll skip this space, and into that space I'll work my double crochet, and then I have 1 more space, so I'll chain 2, and at the top of this chain 3 space, 1 2 3, into that space I'll go in, pull up a thread and pull through 2 to make a slip stitch, and I've closed off. You'll make sure you have a total of 35 double crochets with chain 2 spaces in between. So to begin off round 7, I'll chain 3. That will act as my first double crochet for that row. Then in this 2 chain space I'll work my 2 double crochets in that space, and in the top of that double crochet I'll work a double crochet in that space, and at the 2 chain space I'll work 2 double crochets, and at the top of that double crochet in that space I'll work another double crochet. and in the 2 chain space another 2 double crochets in the same space, and at the top of the double crochet I'll work another double crochet. And row 7 is a repeat of the same all the way around, so just continue the same and I'll meet you at the end of row 7 to finish off. I'm at the end of row 7 and I'll work my last 2 double crochet in that chain space, and then I'll close off round 7 by working a slip stitch at the top of this first double crochet. So 1 2 3 on the 3rd space, I'll go in, pull up a loop and pull through both to close off. And at the end of row 7 you want to make sure you have a total of 105 double crochets all round. To begin off round 8 we'll chain 3, that will act as our first double crochet, then we'll chain 2 as our space, and then we will skip this first space and then we'll work a double crochet into the next space. We'll chain 2, skip a space and work a double crochet into the next, chain 2, skip a space and work a double crochet into the next space. And row 8 will be a repeat of the same all the way around. So continue and I'll meet you at the end of row 8 to close off. We are at the end of row 8, so we'll make our last 2 chain space and work our last double crochet. We'll skip that space, the next space we'll work a double crochet, then we'll skip that space, and then you have your double crochet. So I'll make my last 2 chains, and then in the 3rd 1 2 3 I'll go into that space, pull up a loop and pull through 2 to close off our round 8, and I'll chain 3, which will act as our first double crochet, and in that space we will work 2 double crochets, and in that at the top of that double crochet we'll work another double crochet over there, and in the chain space we'll work 2 double crochets, and in that space we'll work another double crochet, then 2 double crochets in the 2 chain space, and another double crochet at the top of that double crochet. And row 9 is a repeat of that all the way around, so continue with the same and I'll meet you at the end. I'm at the end of row 9 and I'll work my last 2 double crochet in my last chain space. At the end of row 9, what you want to make sure is you have a total of 159 double crochets all the way around, and I'll close off my row by slip stitching. So 1 2 3 in that space I'll just go in, pull up a loop and pull through to both. Then what you want to do is chain 3 and additional 2, so the first chain 3 will act as our first double crochet. Then what you want to do is skip 2 1 2 and work a double crochet into our 3rd. That's the difference between this row and the previous. So here we're skipping 2, so we'll chain 2, skip 2, and in our 3rd space we'll double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, and in our 3rd double crochet, in our 3rd space we'll put a double crochet, chain 2, skip 2 spaces, and in the 3rd space work your double crochet. And that's it for row 10. It's basically a repeat of the same all the way around, so continue and I'll meet you at the end. I'm at the end of row 10, so I'll work my last 2 chain spaces, and then I'll skip those 2 chain spaces, and then at the top of 1 2 3 this 3rd space I'm going to slip stitch. That's it. So what you want to make sure is you have 53 double crochets with your 2 chain spaces in between. So I'll chain 3, this will act as my first double crochet, then I'll work 2 double crochets in that space and 1 more in that at the top of that double crochet, then work 2 double crochet in the chain space and 1 more in that top of that previous double crochet, work 2 double crochet in the 2 chain space and another double crochet at the top of that previous double crochet. So basically row 11 will be a repeat of the same all the way around. So continue and I'll meet you at the end of row 11. I'm at the end of row 11 and I'll work my last 2 double crochets in that chain space. So at the end of row 11 you're going to have a total of 159 stitches, but in this row, since it's our last one before we begin our next design, we'll need a total of 160. So what we'll do is we'll add 1 more double crochet in this last chain to make a total of 160 double crochet. So at the end of row 11 for this pattern, you'll want to make sure you have a total of 160 double crochets. Then what I will do is I'll finish off by making a slip stitch in our first double crochet, 1 2 3 in this third space. I'm going to go in and slip stitch just like that. So to begin off row 11, what I want to do is I'll slip stitch into this space, then I'll chain 1, and then I'll work 5 single crochets in the next 4 spaces. So this is, I'll count this as 1 single crochet, then I'll work the second single crochet, the third single crochet, the fourth single crochet, the fifth single crochet. After the fifth single crochet, what we'll do is chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, skip 3 spaces, 1 2 3, and work another set of 5 single crochets. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet, then chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, skip 3 spaces, 1 2 3, and on the fourth work a single crochet and work 4 more single crochets in the next spaces. So that's 2 3 4 5 single crochets, chain 5, 2 3 4 5, skip 3 spaces, 1 2 3, and in the fourth work a single crochet. In the next 4 spaces work 4 more single crochets to make a total of 5. 1 2 3 4 5, and then chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and row 12 is a repeat of the same all the way around. So we'll continue like that and I'll meet you at the end of row 12. I've finished my last 5 set of single crochets, so I'll chain my last 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and then I'll skip 1 2 3 spaces. So basically the 3 spaces are at the end of the row. Then what you have is, this is our first 5 set of single crochet. So 1 2 3 4 5, right at the top of that 5th one we're going to slip stitch in there just like that, go in, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and we've finished off row 12. So since I want to work my pattern for row 13 over here, what I'll do is I'll slip stitch all the way to this chain space. 1 2 3 4, I skipped one over there, then into this space. So we'll be working in the spaces. So what I will do is I'll chain 3, and then I'll chain 1 more, so that's a total of 4 chains. The first 3 will act as a double crochet, and the fourth will be a space. Then I'll work another double crochet in that space, chain 1 and another double crochet. What I want is a total of 7 double crochet in this chain 5 space. So that is 3 double crochet, chain 1, 4 double crochet, chain 1, 5 double crochet, chain 1, 6 double crochet, chain 1 and 7 double crochet. And then in our previous row, in this single crochet, we'll count 3. So 1, 2, in the third space we are going to work a single crochet and then begin working another set of 7 double crochet in our next chain space. We will work our double crochet, chain 1, our second double crochet, chain 1, third double crochet, chain 1, fourth double crochet, chain 1, fifth double crochet, chain 1, sixth double crochet, chain 1, seventh double crochet. And then we're going to count 1, 2 on the third single crochet of the previous row. We're going to work our single crochet over there and then start again on 7 sets of double crochet. So our first double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet, chain 1, third double crochet, chain 1, fourth double crochet, chain 1, fifth double crochet, chain 1, sixth double crochet, chain 1, seventh double crochet, and then we will single crochet in our third single crochet space. So 1, 2, 3 in this third space, we're going to go in and work a single crochet and start another set of 7 double crochet in our next chain space. So this row will be a repeat of the same all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end so we can finish off. I'm in my last chain space, so I'll work my 7 sets of double crochet. So the first double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet, chain 1, third double crochet, chain 1, fourth double crochet, chain 1, fifth double crochet, chain 1, sixth double crochet, chain 1, seventh double crochet, and then into the third space, 1, 2, 3, work our single crochet in there. Then what we will do is on this first set, the first double crochet, which was a chain 3, we're going to go into the third space, so 1, 2, 3, put our hook in there and work a slip stitch just like that to finish off that row. So that's what we have for this row. So for row 14, what we're going to do is we'll start off, I'll slip stitch into that first space and chain 2. Then what I want to do is make a cluster stitch. So I'll yarn over, go into the loop, pull a thread and yarn through 2, go into the space, pull through a loop and pull through 2. Now I have 3. Then I'll yarn over, pull through all of them, then I'll chain 1 to close up and chain 1 more. So those are chain 2. Then I'll go into the same space, into the next space, yarn over, go into the space, pull through 2, yarn over again, go into the same space, pull up a thread, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the same space, pull up a thread, yarn over and pull through 2. Now I have 4 loops in my hook. I'll yarn over and pull through all the 4, then I'll chain 2, then work another cluster into the next space. So I'll yarn over, go into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the same space, pull up a thread, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up go into the space, pull up a thread, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I have 4, yarn over, pull through all the 4 and chain 2. So I have these cluster stitches. So I'll work 3 more in the 3 next spaces. So you yarn over, go into the space, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have 4 loops in your hook, yarn over, pull through 4, chain 2, yarn over, go into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the space, pull up a thread, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the same space, pull up a thread, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through all the 4, and chain 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the space, pull up a thread, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You have your 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 4. We're in the 6th cluster, so we'll just continue the same way and jump over. So we'll chain 2 and jump over to our next set of 6 clusters again. So yarn over, go into that next space and work your set of clusters. So that's what you'll end up having for row 14. So you have your clusters, your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters, and then 2 chain spaces in between. Then your next set of 6 clusters and spaces in between. So it's a continuation all through for row 14. So you'll continue the same pattern, and I'll meet you at the end of row 14 to finish off. I'm almost ending row 14, so I'll just work my last set of clusters in my last 2 spaces. First I'll chain 2, then work my second last cluster in that chain space, then I'll chain 1, then the second, then my last cluster will go into that last space, and chain 2. So this being our last cluster, how I join it up to this very first one is I'll just at the top, so I'll count 1, 2, 3. This last V at the really top, just go into that space and work a slip stitch just like that, and we finished off row 14. And then row 15 is purely decorative, so it's purely optional. You can leave it out or you can add it into your pattern. For me, I'll add it. So what I'll do is I'll just slip stitch into this next space so we can work it's what we call picots. So you just chain 2, then come back into this first stitch and work a slip stitch, and then in the same space we will slip stitch into the next space, and then slip stitch into the next chain 2 space. So you have this little picot. So I'll repeat again, chain 2, then go into that first chain and work a slip stitch, and then we will slip stitch back into the same space, and then into the next space we'll slip stitch and slip stitch into the next chain 2 space. So in between the clusters is where we'll be having these little picots. So I'll do that one more time. We'll chain 2 in our first chain. I'll go back in there and work a slip stitch just like that, then work a slip stitch back into the chain space, and then in this top part I'll work a slip stitch and work another slip stitch to go into the next space where we'll make a picot. So it's basically purely for decorational purposes, but they look really pretty and well done. So I'll just continue like that. So I'll make 2 more. Go into the first, slip stitch into the bottom, to the next space, into the next chain space. So this will be our last one. So there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the fifth one will be right at the peak of that pattern, so it's really nice and cute and well balanced. We'll not make a picot between this bit and this bit. There will be no picot here, so we'll just skip into the next and make 5 more. So there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we'll skip over to the next. So for this part I will just slip stitch, slip stitch, slip stitch into the next space now. Then we'll work our pick over there, chain 2, work our picot, slip stitch, slip stitch, slip stitch. So we'll continue like that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end to complete off our pattern. So I'm working my last 2 picots in my last 2 spaces before I close off with this pattern. Last slip stitch, so we'll slip stitch into that space, work another slip stitch, and then in this very first one, just before the picot right here, we'll go in there and work a slip stitch, chain 1, and slip our thread off, and we are done with the pattern. So once done, once you've cleaned up all your edges, what you'll be left with is this beautiful 40 centimeter diameter placemat. It's very beautiful, and it's okay for your pattern to curve or to curl at the end, just like this. How you remedy that is you just pass over a steam iron. You just go over it with a steam iron, and it will be able to lie flat. If you've liked our video up to this point, please give us a thumbs up. Also leave a comment down below on what you found most resourceful about this video, and do consider subscribing. You can also turn on your bell so you can get notified anytime we put a video up. So till next time, bye.